Hey guys, Cobra Krames here at Scratch DJ Academy. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Serato DJ Flip. So Serato Flip allows you to cut cue point automations. What I'm doing is automating cue points to go through tracks, selecting parts of the songs that I like, and then also parts of the songs that I want to skip. Going through essentially and automating those cue points to go to those points when I say to. With Flip, what I set out to do was take something old, something classic, which was the Push the Feeling On from the Nightcrawlers. That's a classic house tune that I wanted to use and essentially flip it into something that could be modern and current. So I chose the Travis Scott, T.I. and 2 Chainz instrumental. So if you see here at the beginning, we just got Push the Feeling On. It's just growing, boom, you know. Little scan through the song, turn it low. You know, we've got this nice vocal right here. Everybody's familiar with the vocal, you know, but I just chose to, I wanted to skip that part, you know. I want to just go through and essentially go from the intro, playing right here, and what I did is created an intro flip. I turned that on. What you're going to see is right when it hits this cue point here, skips forward, boom. So it's the first part of the routine. You go over here, you know, and then I grab the Travis Scott T.I. instrumental. I look at that. The first thing I decide is, well, hey, I want to have some way to introduce this instrumental into the mix without just jumping beats from going really fast to halftime at 65 or so. So what I do is, like I said, I skip the beginning part over, go into the first drop of the horn as it plays. And then I chose a cue point to drop in the Travis Scott instrumental at. So this is playing here. And then, you know, you just, boom. You know, so that's that little mix you hear right before the horn flip. Well, the horn flip is probably one of the more intricate parts of the routine. What you get is essentially I took each of the horns from that breakdown that you just heard in Push the Feeling On and chopped up a pattern that fit well with the upper echelon song. It's a more modern pattern, has more of a swing to it. So here's the pattern on just the horn flip. You can hear by itself. So that horn's playing. So that's the flip on the horn. After you take it through the horn, I go into essentially jump back into a more up-tempo vibe. So I created a flip over on the upper echelon instrumental, essentially where I isolated a clap, took the clap, and dropped it with the air horn and the double clap to create a pattern that ended up sounding something like this if we just turn it on here. And I'll keep it looping so you can kind of hear the loop point. Loop right there. And then what I did is jumped into the next section, which is a B-more section. Another flip that I created with the backwards reverse snare, multiple clap snare there. And then you get the air horn. And so the important part here is that I had to create a flip that ended when the air horn started, so you can continuously flow with the routine without having to stop and break patterns. So you can see the air horn drops on the 1 when you release the flip from the loop, which is obviously important in any case when you're doing a flip. When you choose your samples, you want to choose samples that will end on the 1 and reset a cycle so that you can continue with your routine without jumping beats or anything like that. Another good trick that I have when I use the flip is a lot of my flips that you noticed were on beat to rhythm, like the the clap flip, the be more flip, essentially all the chants. And that can be quite difficult if you're just going off of an internal metronome in your head. So what I tend to do is grab a 4/4 beat, maybe the intro to just a typical house song. I actually used the intro to the Nightcrawler's Push the Feeling On song because it's just a 4 on the floor. I looped that up on an 8-bar beat, and while I kept that looping, I would play my flip over top of it while I was recording, just to make sure that the flip was on beat and everything was swinging the way I wanted it to and hitting and repeating the way I wanted it to. And I always kind of had that internal clock of myself, but as well I always had the beat of Nightcrawlers just kind of hitting there, letting me know I could visually see while I hit the cue points that they're matching up, but also you can hear, you know, that tick going in the background because Serato doesn't have a metronome, so essentially that's the way I decided to create a metronome with the flip. For the last part of my routine, I wanted to choose something unexpected. Anytime I'm in the club, I like when a DJ throws on something random, something different that you didn't expect to hear that night. And the great thing about flip is you can pretty much take any sample and chop it up with 8 cue points. It's essentially an 8 cue point sampler, which you could use as a production tool as well. That's the way I'm using it here in my routine. So when I take the clap flip and go into the be more mode, essentially on my be more flips here I'll turn it on and just let it play for the sake of a loop for a second here. And turn it down a little bit so we can talk. And I got this flip. It's just Prince, 1999 acapella. Took the acapella, found a great little stab out of it, and then you eventually get the stab. And here's the pattern by itself. You know, so you can decide how much swing you want in your flips and whatnot. You can do them over and over again. You can also quantize them with like quarter note, eighth note, 16th note steps. It depends on how loose or tight you're looking for, and also the patterns that you're playing. You know, they quantize sometimes appropriately, sometimes they don't. So essentially, at the end of that loop, I had the party sample playing. Kind of makes you just to reference the you know, to reference the initial acapella. So then you can like it's 1999. And everybody's like, what? Like, I was just listening to Travis Scott 2 Chainz Jersey Club edit and Prince was chanting over top of it. So essentially that's what I'm doing with flip, is taking something, an old classic, something new and fresh, mixing it with something unique and different, and creating my own routines and remixes on the fly for, you know, for any crowd really. What you can do is, you know, you can choose any songs and do these flips to create your own remix vibes on the fly in the club, rehearse them at home, produce tracks with them. It's the flip, and I think it's the future of Serato. Hey everybody, Cobra Krames here at Scratch DJ Academy from Gold Whistle. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Peace.